My name is Judson. I'm here representing the San Antonio Tea Party and the Heartland Institute. Today, we are officially launching a petition drive to amend the San Antonio City Charter. These forms will be all over. These forms will be going all over San Antonio. They'll be appearing on websites until we get the 20,000 signatures required to put a charter amendment on the November ballot that will prohibit the use of city streets or city right-of-way for light rail or streetcars without a vote of the people.
Yes!
They don't listen.
If anybody's interested in getting a petition and helping us get signatures, please contact LULAC or the San Antonio Tea Party or the Heartland Institute or any number of organizations that will be speaking here today. We also have a number of political candidates who are also on board with this and will also be helping us gather signatures. Another point I wanted to make was that while these petitions are being gathered and while the lawsuits are underway in Austin, where we're appealing the ruling of a district court judge that approved the bonds using ATD dollars that VIA is using to build the multimodal streetcar system hub across the street. While these actions are underway, we call on all of our elected and appointed officials not to enter into any contracts to build the streetcar, especially not contracts that have irrevocable agreements in them that make it onerous and expensive to undo these contracts. We especially do not want penalty clauses in contracts that are entered into to build the streetcar while we are gathering these signatures and litigating these bonds in court. We call on all citizens and all of our elected officials to become watchdogs, to watch out for these kind of contracts that they will try to slip through. Okay. Michael Dennis with the Homeowner Taxpayers Association.
On behalf of the Homeowner Taxpayer Association, I'm here to help keep an eye on our tax dollars so they don't get misspent. You've heard, I hope, that the cost of this crazy boondoggle is about $500 million. That's not what you hear from VIA. They're still down in the $100, $200 million range. But if you look at their own budgets, they want to spend $500 million just to build this contraption. And then we get to pay for operating it and maintaining it and rebuilding it when it falls apart. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Weston Martinez, and I currently serve as Real Estate Commissioner for Governor Perry, but I'm also running to replace Elisa Chan for City Council District 9. You know, City Hall has gone off the deep end.
Yes, they have.
Oh yeah.
And whenever they do things like ignoring the voters, whether you're Democrat or Republican, Democrats and Republicans unite. Look at this press conference. We have bipartisan support against this issue, and our elected officials should take heed by the people that are uniting here today to represent the voice of the people, because the people will speak, and the people will vote this down. Now, there are those people in City Hall that will try to pretend like they're against the streetcar, or pretend like they're against some of the other things that they've done. But they're not. They're playing politics, and they are totally ignoring the will of the people. And unfortunately, we in San Antonio today have government without representation.
That's right.
We need elected officials that will recognize that it's the people's government and not the government's people.
Yeah.
My name is Weston Martinez. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Weston. Ladies and gentlemen, I approve this message.
State your name.
Okay, my name is Henry Rodriguez, LULAC Concilio Zapatista. It is great to be in such mixed company. We might be against each other tomorrow, but today we speak as one voice and one voice only. The voice of the people. Everything that had to be said has been said already.
No.
Well, much. No, we can say a lot more. We can belabor this. But ladies and gentlemen, as in any democracy, today I call for the question. Put it to a vote. That is the democratic way of doing things. I really want to thank a couple of other candidates that are here running for County Commissioner Precinct number 4, none other than Reinette Alecozay. All right.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you for having this. I wanted to say that I'm all about public openness and public honesty. That's not what we've been getting from our commissioners or from our city. And I demand that we not spend one more tax dollar on these streetcars. They cost 8 times more to maintain and operate a streetcar as a bus. Common sense says no to the streetcars. Put it to the vote. My name is Reinette Alecozay. I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4. Thank you for coming out.
I also approve that message. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, listen, I want to recognize a couple of other people that have been working with us in the community. I mean, these people, these guys are legendary. They're the soldiers of our people, and I mean, they've gotten old doing this, just like I have. They're none other than the legendary Brown Berets over here. Let's hear it for them. Let's hear it for them. Another gentleman representing the indigenous people. He's another very good friend. We go way back, and that is Antonio Diaz. All right, Antonio. And now, at this time, you know, like I said, let's put it up for a vote. Why should we hurl insults at one another? Why do all this and let the people speak? It's so simple. But do they think that? They go out there and saying that we provide misinformation. Well, we're saying that the same thing about them. They're saying that whatever it is that they say, Mr. Charlie Gonzalez, who's a good friend of mine, he is talking for his bosses, the ones that pay him. What else can we hear? We are saying what the people in our community are saying, and they are saying no damn streetcars. Plain and simple. So, at this time, I want to introduce my good friend. I'm supporting him. I make no bones about it. I want him to be the next county judge. And everybody has a preference. That is beautiful. But we're here for one thing and one thing only. And I really appreciate the fact that he's here today, County Commissioner from Precinct number 4, and running for county judge, none other than Tommy Adkisson.
Thank you very much, Henry. Well, I stood not too far from here about a year ago, whatever it was, around a year, saying that I thought this was a good idea. And then I started going out into the community and realizing that the community is not in agreement. And I never ran for this office to cram things down people's throats.
That's right. That's what
Or to tell them that I'm your dictator, and if you don't listen to me, I'm going to run over you. That is just not the way to hold a public office. And I think we're here to set a new standard to raise the bar for how you hold office in Bexar County. And we will say that if the people aren't for it, maybe there's more information necessary. But whatever the case is, they ought to have a right to vote on it. Not too long ago, we went out in front of the people with the AT&T Center to get people's approval to build the Spurs a new home so they wouldn't leave town. And a lot of people agreed. Okay, there's some I'm sure didn't, because I don't think it was not at all a unanimous vote. But we had a lot of agreement, and I think that it was good that we went to the people and said, what do you think? And they said, yeah, okay, it's all right. But, you know, when people are out there saying, no, we're not going to do this, or we're going to oppose you, I think any elected official works so hard for votes to get into an office to say, well, I'm not going to listen to you, we're just going to run over you, and we have the money, and we have the power, and we won't permit a public vote. So this is very capable of being voted on by the people, the mayor, the council, the county judge, the commissioners. They just need to hear what the people have to say, and when they do, we'll all live in harmony. Whether we agree or don't agree, we're going to vote it one way or the other and live with it. And so I am here to say, I think it's high time for this city, this county, to direct its members to the VIA board, who ultimately have to cast this vote and there's 2 from the suburban cities, to tell them, give this to the people, let them resolve it, don't get in the way, don't get run over by a trolley. Get yourself in the right direction and let the people breathe free. Thank you.
Okay, and now the brave man from LULAC. This gentleman, you know what? If you saw him debate a seasoned politician named Charlie Gonzalez, he took him on and gave him all he could handle. And then he was brave enough to file a lawsuit, and now he's filing an appeal. So let him speak. Ladies and gentlemen, my colleague, my partner in crime, when we go to any entity, he said, I tell George, since you're the real educated one, you do the mechanics, let me do the theatrics. And it works real well, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, none other than George Alejos from the Concilio Zapatista. Without a bandana.
Thank you, Henry. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Let me say that I got into this fight with Henry because we're doing the right thing. We want to fight for the people of San Antonio. We've joined with forces that we typically don't agree with, but this is not about politics. It's nonpartisan. We've got some good people that asked us to come and join them in this fight, and we are. We have reason to believe that none of the people currently riding the buses, the majority of them, will ever step a foot on those streetcars. They're not.
True.
Back in December, Mayor Castro was on the Trey Ware show on KTSA, and I posed a question to the mayor over the telephone. I asked the mayor, give us a status as to why we need streetcars. Mayor Castro, by his own admission, said we need it because it'll make the city more fashionable. That's what he said. Go back and see what he said. Now, we don't need streetcars. The city doesn't have to be more fashionable. We need good, inexpensive transportation for our citizens. In fact, VIA in their propaganda said that they were trying to attract a better quality rider. Now, what does it say about the current riders on the buses? They're not the quality that you want? A slap in the face. Yeah. Go and read their propaganda. They're trying to attract a better quality rider. And the other thing is we have reason to believe that the streetcars will never benefit the east, south, and west side of the city of San Antonio.
They won't benefit the north side either.
Now, it's true that I filed a lawsuit, but I had some bad news today in that the judge that ruled against the citizens of San Antonio by getting via the permission to go forward with the sale of the bonds has ordered me to pay $3.5 million to file my appeal. Now, I told the guy that gave me the information, do I need to sign a personal check or a certified check? I'll gladly send him a personal check. Whether it clears is another issue. But really, we're here for the citizens of San Antonio, and that's all we're here for. We need to stop this madness. They need to spend the money on other things like street maintenance, not closing down any more senior centers, providing more routes for our veterans to get to the Audie Murphy Hospital or wherever they need to be. Yeah, that's what we need. And the audacity for them to come and start building or start prepping the location for streetcars is really a slap in the face. And Mr. Judson said it very clearly. Do not enter into contracts that will come back to haunt us. If you hire a contract and we cancel this contract because the people said no, I don't want him to come back and sue the city for damages because he couldn't get his contract, fulfilled. So I'm here. I'm happy to see all of you here. Thank you for coming. Let's continue the fight. Now, I do have a lady who wants to talk because she is a bus rider, and we need to give her an opportunity.
That's right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Spade. I am a current bus rider. As you can see, I have a pass because I am handicapped. I can no longer drive due to medications and illness. First of all, I do want to let everyone know that they are proposing to start the streetcar at the Pearl, where all the money will be living. The problem is, currently, VIA has 3 routes serving that part of Broadway. They start at Travis Park, and they run all the way to Austin Highway, and they run every 15 minutes in that area. Second of all, in 2004, VIA received federal money with a stipulation on that federal money that they were to have all routes within Loop 410 reduced to 15 minutes. I live inside Loop 410 in the West Avenue and Jackson Keller area. The bus I have to ride to connect to any other routes that are 30 minutes apart takes me 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes in between buses from where I live. And another thing, on weekends, it's an hour and 10 minutes. VIA says they have no routes that are longer than an hour apart. You're telling me that an hour and 10 minutes is less than an hour? I don't think so. They are forgetting also that the majority of the riders, they want to raise the level of ridership with income-wise. I ride the bus between all over town. I ride the bus with professors of UTSA, the professors from St. Mary's University, attorneys that work downtown. You're telling me those people are not professionals and are not paying riders? Streetcars do not need to be built. They needed to put that $180 million they want to spend on streetcars and then the extra $200+ million on this location into improving bus rider service all over town, not just downtown.
Let me add another comment that I forgot to add, and that is today I had the privilege of visiting with Mr. BJ McCombs. Myself, Mr. Judson, and Mike Dennis visited with Mr. McCombs, and he told me, and told Jeff and Mike that he's against streetcars as well. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here today for the rally, but he told me, George, anytime you need to use my name, and for purposes of making sure that I'm against streetcars, you do that. You have my permission. So Mr. BJ McCombs says no to streetcars.
I could use a new car. Hang on, no. Okay, we are going to open it up for questions now. Anybody? It doesn't have to be the media, but anybody want to be asking a question? Yes, sir, Mr. Diaz. You got the floor. Go ahead.
Well, Henry, wasn't it the sales tax that 1/8 of a sales tax that went into the ATD construction supposed to be for improving services, including
Absolutely.
more routes, longer hours? Because at one time they were talking about 24-hour service that never came to be. So that is what the ATD funds should have gone to, and not to reimburse TxDOT for having put the seed money to get this going.
Very good point, Antonio. Very good point.
That's right.
Why can't they upgrade all the bus stops from the elements? If you're under there and a rainstorm comes, it's not going to cover it because usually the wind blows right in your face. You had a question, sir?
I did have my hair fixed today, and it's like this because of the
Hold on,
rain.
question.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
I'm 68 and I've lived in San Antonio all my life. I have a very simple question for Via. Is if streetcars are such a good idea, I remember them when I was a child. Why didn't we keep them? Why didn't we keep them?
It's not a very good idea, right?
We threw them away then. And I know why, because you've got a rail that can only go one place, a bus can go anywhere. So why are we doing them now if they were a bad idea?
Very good question. How about you, sir?
Yes. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for coming out for the support against the rail cars. I'm Ed Ocampo with LULAC Resident Housing Council 22042, and I'm here basically to ask one question of you guys. How many of y'all are small business owners? A lot of business owners in here, right? Now we're concerned. I'm concerned about the business owner on Houston Street. They will be driven out, and we're supposed to let the minority, of which rules here in the city of San Antonio, los mexicanitos aquí, aparte de eso, everybody else that lives in the city naturally. However, I'm concerned about the small businesses being run out by the ineffectiveness of the cost in spending on these rail cars. We got to make certain that those guys are not moved out and replaced by other people with money in their pockets. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to close it, but I want to recognize some of the people that are here also. Here we go. How many of you belong to the are independents? How many of you belong to the Republican Party?
Yeah! Yeehaw!
All right. How many of you belong to the Tea Party? How many of you belong to the Democratic Party? How many of you are party animals? All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
Green Party.
Oh, the Green Party, anybody? Libertarian Party?
Libertarian.
Oh my God. Yeah, and we have thank you so much. We're in this together. We speak as one voice. So, let them hear us say, no streetcars.
No streetcars.
No streetcars.